right. So I'm going for it with this box. I took the old box that I had delay written on, and it's rough sanded. It's got like a few hollow spots in it. It looks rough. It's cool. I'll hand write on it nice and neat. But I wanted to show you a shrink wrapped, skinny shrink wrap over the legs of the pots, and then heavier shrink wrap over top of those. And there's shrink wrap on one leg of the light emitting diode, and then a large shrink wrap over both wires to hold that nonsense together. But as you can see, it's like, hello. And then you got to adjust this secondary nut here so that it holds it off at the right height, and it's supposed to sit against this, it's so very tight. I don't know. I might end up disappointed and pull it back out again, but this has to be screwed in already with the nut and then soldered. What I did, I tested it out first and then I cut it off, and I left like, a little piece of green, so I would know what I was looking at and just don't have to look back at the chart and just resolder it. These pots, the direction of the pots don't matter. A pot is a pot, and wherever you put the knob. The only problem is a split shaft. It's possible that my set screw could fall right into the split shaft, which will be annoying, but I can always put a little blob of putty in that split shaft. That's not a big deal. I was thinking that. So I'm just turning the pots whatever way I want to keep them as flat as possible. This pot is turned at a hard angle over here, and this one's turned hard up at an angle because I have my tall electrolytic capacitors there, 2 of them, see? I'm still not confident, but when you put in these pieces here, you could technically solder the 2 ground legs together. There's the slope on this one and the slope on that one are both on this side, so the wires can ride up over it. But I don't think it's going to work. It just seems like too much to me. I mean, last time, and I'm trying to stuff them all into the middle here. It's so clumsy. I mean, there must be a way. But, I mean, this is not the way I want to work. And then there's a set screw on there, right? There's a 50K variable pot. So I drilled an extra hole so you can stick your screwdriver in there and turn it. I mean, for crying out loud, who's going to want to pull this apart? Not me. And I made it. But, and I put a little tape across here so that nothing, sticking out of these grounds out. And the one unused tab on the output, I bent it back and forth and broke it off because it's not necessary. I don't need it. And there's still something to solder there too if, I ever want to do something else. But I don't know. I mean, even this seems like it's sticking out too far for the switch. It's... Oh, and that's the other thing they don't tell you. There's like these little holes for the battery thing. So it comes up on this side of the car and then comes out that side. I don't know which way is right because look at this. The card has to sit like almost right on that. I don't know. It's tough. But I'll get back to you on it. I did want to show you my shrink wrap. I was proud of it. And it seems a shame to cover stuff up when it looks so cool, But my shrink wrap moved a little. It looks cool. Everything's sturdy. Nothing can short out. The piece of tape, it can't short out there. And you can see how crowded that is. Even just to get those jacks in there is very difficult. So, and then I still have to set this bottom nut here to the correct height to sit where I need it to sit. And the tolerances are so slim. And then if I can even get a battery in it, it'll be something. So that's why I drilled this big wide hole. So it's like, wow, there's no way I can miss that with my little screwdriver. I could definitely get in there and turn that 50K pot back and forth where I want rather than sitting and fiddling it on the floor like I was doing. But here's my soldering job. Here's how the soldering job came out. This is you would think like the most riskiest part to, heat up and break. But it solders so easy. The things that sit in there with multiple legs, I'm trying to get it to focus here. There it is. The things that sit in there with multiple legs like that, and where's the chip socket? There's a chip socket there. Those things solder easy. Basically, I started with that, and then I put the card face down on the table without the chip in it, obviously. No reason to heat up the chip. It doesn't need to be in there. And then, yeah, my shears. See those little shears right there? There's the name if you need them. VCE Link or something like that. They're off of Amazon. Wait a minute. Oh, this thing will not focus. What is the... There it is. All right. So, yeah, see it shears right through wire and solder and everything. You know, and they're very sharp right to the tip. But anyway, I just set that on the table, and then I pin one corner and I flip it over and I look at it. I pin the other corner and I flip it over and look at it and say, oh, that side needs to go down more. So I just put a little pressure down on it and heat up the solder, and you know, it goes down. So then I go solder all of them. Then I go right to the resistors because they stand the most heat. And if you can see how I bent these wires when I soldered them, I always bend it either out way out into the field or in the direction of the trace. If, you know, there's something that doesn't matter that's close by, I always go in the direction of the trace, see? That way, if anything wicks or flops, it flops onto itself, and then nothing sticks to this. I mean, you can, if you scratch it and you heat it, it probably will stick eventually, but... So, yeah, there's ground lugs all over. There's one here, there's one in the middle that I didn't even use right there. There's like 4 ground lugs, I think, or 4 or 5, but you just use whatever ground lugs you need. You only need 2 ground lugs, and this would be like ground for shielding maybe, if you wanted to create like a box shield or something. I don't know. I don't know if you can hear that radiation in here, but I told you already, that thing is like, what, like 7,800 hertz at least? It's just up there. It's like, they're irradiating me. Like my one friend was over here and he's like, I think that's coming from outside the apartment. But I'm like, I don't know about that. I heard a truck Jake braking behind my refrigerator, an airplane cruising over my ceiling. I mean, these people are messing with me bad. And listen, I'm not going to play around. I miss my children. And there are people in this area that have literally bragged. And they said, thanks for the kid. And this is the funniest stuff I've ever seen. Of course, she didn't say stuff, but... I'm trying not to cuss because I'm in a slightly calm mood. I messed my children bad, but yeah, you can see this nonsense. This is not easy. The real nonsense is if the battery's going to fit in there. Yeah, see what happens. But I did a good job. I got that idea from the other guy, not Kobe, the other one with the 1x4 synthesizer. You know, he built the synthesizer out of wood. All right, I got to go because I got to drink something. I'm going to cough again. It's so dry in here. But that's it. I want to show it to you before I close it up and tell you the advice about putting everything in there. So, oh, I think I already told you that, but excuse me. Bad air. There's 2 nuts here. These got to come off. Obviously, they go on the outside. This plastic washer, the lock washer, and then the nut. But the secondary nut is your standoff, so the card doesn't get drawn down too tightly into these jacks, which it actually needs to. So we'll see what happens here. All right, I'll keep you posted. Hope this encourages or discourages you, but I mean, you know, it's nothing to sneeze at. It's a lot of money, but if you are successful, you'll get a decent sounding pedal. What will cost you, you know, $179 to $250, and you'll get it for $27. So that's one way of looking at it. But, you know, if you blunder it, you know, you might as well have, you know, sneezed in your money, which that's not fun because it's a lot of money. But, you know, like Nico said, that's nothing compared to what I would pay to go to college with a backpack and a scooter. You know, hundreds of thousands of dollars just to have somebody, you know, yell at me for crossing a solder joint where I could just learn the hard way for $27 and be like, oh, you know, and then have to get out this thing. That's the solder sucker, see? Push it, wait. I couldn't contract it with one hand easily, but and hold the phone. So, and then what happens is I push this release button. See, here's the little tongue that pushes out the solder. See, and then it's suction solder. So, and I had to actually cut the tip. It used to be much narrower, but it got melted. So, you know, you have to be clever with it. It's not easy to unsolder stuff. It's no fun. You're better off getting it right the first time. But oh, and I cut off the tabs. Every single one of these pots, I put it in and went up the tab, up the tab. Basically, you can grab those tabs if you have very close needle nose. That'll grab close and just they'll break right off. You know, it's like magnesium, aluminum alloy, whatever it is made of, but just break the little tabs off. Or drill the extra hole, which I'm not doing. It's not necessary. All right, so that's that. All right, just want to keep you posted. There's my mess. There's all my labeled stuff. See, I had everything labeled. The card soldered up fast. I was like so excited I was going to make another video, but this wiring takes forever. And now, as you can see, I'm still not in the clear, although I did, you know, solder everything together and test it before I put it in here. But I'm still not in the clear. I still got to smash this thing down and stand on it and, you know, use one hand for the screwdriver and the other hand to push down on my foot. I'm just kidding about that. The battery is going to be the issue. If I can get this to fit, I just hope it's not tight. You know, I had a hard time getting a battery in there. So, all right, that's it. Bye.